So, Moira, your speech, please, your poem.
Good evening. We're in very troubling times. My choice of poems tonight reflects what is happening in Ukraine. There are 4 poems, and they sort of build on each other. The first one, it's not really about war, but it's about choices. And we know that the criminal, if I can call him that, Putin, made choices. He made a choice to go to war. Second, does it matter? The third, what happens if a soldier doesn't make it home? And lastly, the most famous of all 4 poems, If, by Rudyard Kipling, which is probably my favorite poem of all time. The first one is by a gentleman called Robert Frost. Now, I'm not great into poetry, so his name means nothing to me. It may mean something to you. He was born in 1874, died in 1963. And this poem is called The Road Not Taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere, ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. A second poem is by someone who I'm sure you will all have heard of, Siegried Sassoon. He wrote a number of poems during the First World War. He lived from 1886 to 1967. And it's called Does It Matter? Does it matter losing your legs? For people will always be kind, and you need not show that you mind. When others come in after hunting to gobble their muffins and eggs, does it matter losing your sight? There's such splendid work for the blind, and people will always be kind as you sit on the terrace remembering and turning your face to the light. Do they matter, those dreams in the pit? You can drink and forget and be glad. And people won't say that you're mad, for they know that you fought for your country, and no one will worry a bit. My third is from a modern poet. He's an American soldier from Parker, Colorado. I can find very little about him except that he is currently on Facebook. He's called Jodi M Kucera. The poem is called If I Don't Make It Home. If I don't make it home, please remember it wasn't because I didn't try. The last thing I wanted was to make you cry. I wanted more than anything to make it back to you, but there was a job I just had to do. As you were sleeping through the night, we woke to the sound of gunfire, and I knew this would be my last fight. It's my job to keep you safe and free, and to do that, I will give every ounce of me. I am a soldier who will defend until the very end, but that comes at a cost that I know I can't mend. Keep a picture of me beside the bedside and kiss me good night. Imagine my arms around you, holding you tight. Don't forget how my lips felt on yours, or my soft caress as our clothes fell to the floor. Remember the warmth of my breath as I whispered, I love you, in your ear. Just because I'm gone, my love doesn't disappear. I know I broke my promise to be here to wipe away every tear. You've cried a million of them every time you wished I was still here. Please forgive me for leaving you so soon. But my country called and needed me too. My last is by Rudyard Kipling, who needs no introduction, I don't think. He lived from 1865 to 1936, and this poem is called If. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will, which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Well, thank you very much for that, Moira. Clearly some very powerful emotions there, and a very appropriate choice for the difficult times which we live in at the moment.